everybody, my name is Star Raptor and welcome to my spoiler-free review for Pokemon Detective Pikachu. So this movie I expected a lot of because Pokemon was a big part of my childhood growing up. I used to collect the cards, used to play the games all the time. So I had a lot of hopes riding high on this movie and it definitely delivered. So getting into the plot without giving too much away for you guys, we follow the main character of Tim, who is going about his daily life until he finds out that there's a problem with one of his family members. They end up disappearing, so he goes to the city that they are from and he gets involved with the investigation in Rhyme City. He then befriends Pikachu, who somehow is able to talk to Tim. This is something that Pokemon cannot do with humans, is converse in this fashion. So they end up having this really good bond and they end up becoming a team to investigate what has happened with this family member, and they end up having some conclusion and some resolution with this whole story, and it comes to a very heartwarming close. So getting into the reason why I really enjoyed this movie is, first off, of course, the Pokemon. So we haven't ever seen live action quite like this, and the designs that they used for the Pokemon weren't too realistic, but it worked very well with the characters interacting with them. I feel like they did a good job of paying homage to the original Pokemon. They kind of flared out with the different details like the fur and stuff, but it did look really good. A number of times I caught myself reacting like, "Oh, they're so cute," stuff like that, because they really are. Also, the world building is fantastic. We have this brand new sprawling city of Rhyme City. It's never been before in a video game for Pokemon, I'm pretty sure, and it's a place where they have Pokemon living in harmony with humans. There is no Pokeballs flying around. There is no battles at all going on, or at least not official battles anyways. So it was a nice way of just showing this new location, showing where all these Pokemon are. There's so many different types of Pokemon. I found myself constantly saying like, "Oh, there's one," trying to remember the name. Some of them I didn't even know. Getting into this for a person that hasn't been involved with Pokemon ever, I think this is a very good stepping stone to getting into the Pokemon universe, so to speak, because they do a good job of explaining things, but not like hitting you over the head with them. A lot of things you can kind of figure out for yourself, but they do go over like a little bit of like the history between the human relationship and the Pokemon and different things like that. Focusing on the main character of Tim, he was very relatable, especially to somebody like me who's in their 20s. I felt like they were aiming this movie right for that specific demographic. He's a guy that's just working in an insurance company. He's kind of forgotten about his love for Pokemon as a kid. In the beginning, they show this great scene where he's actually just tagging along with his friend, and they're actually just throwing a Pokeball to try to catch a certain Pokemon, and he hasn't done that in years. So it kind of reminded me of myself, really. Like, I haven't really gotten into Pokemon since, like, almost 20 years ago, so it kind of reminded me a lot of that. Strangely, it really worked to have Ryan Reynolds work as Pikachu. At first, it was like, oh, this is kind of jarring maybe a little bit, but I got used to it. And Ryan Reynolds, as we all know, plays Deadpool, and I wasn't really thinking about Pikachu and Deadpool, because I think there's just enough of the character that he delivers through his performance that separates it from Deadpool, but there is plenty of humorous takes that you can only imagine that were put in there by Ryan Reynolds himself, so I really appreciated that. And overall, I like the tone of this movie. It had this very upbeat kind of tone to it, but thematically in the beginning it did feel like very noir-esque, so that was really neat with Pokemon. The lighting, everything felt really cool, but then towards the middle you get into like the adventure-esque part of the story, and that to me was really, really fun. Some things that did hang me up on the story were, first off, acting from certain characters seemed a little bit subpar, a little bit too overdramatic for me. I also thought the villain was just okay. It wasn't like amazing. There wasn't a huge character development in the villain or anything like that. He was pretty much one note. And the ending, while it did have like a nice ending, like I mentioned, it did seem like it was a little bit of a head scratcher for me, at least. So maybe I'm just overthinking it, but for me, I think it could have been a little bit, they could have gone about it a little bit of a different way. So with that being said, I'm going to give Pokemon Detective Pikachu a score of an 8 out of 10. We finally have a great video game movie on our hands. That's right, the video game movie curse, as I like to call it, is finally over. So yes, if you guys are fans of Pokemon, or if you're just interested slightly about this movie, definitely go check it out. I would recommend it. I'm a little bit curious as to see what's going to happen in the future. Maybe we'll get more movies if this is successful in the Pokemon cinematic universe or something that they'll create. I would love to see that happen. I did think it was kind of interesting that they went with this movie idea first before doing a Pokemon movie that's centered around like the hero's journey with like a young trainer rising up from the ranks, you know, something like that, but maybe we can get that in the future. So anyway, what'd you guys think of Pokemon Detective Pikachu? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I have plenty of other movie reviews. I have my Endgame review and plenty of other Star Wars content and things like video games and TV shows on the channel right now. So if that sounds interesting to you and you liked my thoughts on Detective Pikachu, make sure you go ahead and support the channel simply by subscribing. That is going to do it for me, Star Raptor. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Star Raptor.